Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to go through a survey conversion to convert the layers provided by a surveyor to our layers. So there are many different layers in AutoCAD that you can turn on and turn off, and we use those different layers to create different sheets in our construction document set. We might have 200 different layers by the time the project is done, and in order to make these different sheets, we filter out certain layers and have some show on certain sheets and others show on different sheets. When we get a survey from a surveyor in a DWG format, the surveyor doesn't have any idea what our layers are going to be, so they're going to put all these different objects on whatever layering system they use. And it's important for us to convert those layers from their layer to our layer so that it functions properly with our sheet setup. And so we're going to show you in this video how to convert those layers and how to isolate layers and select them and then move them over to our layers so that they function well with our sheet setup system. Let's learn. Good afternoon. In this short episode, I'm going to show you how to convert a survey. So you can see here we have the surveyor's layers. We're going to run the command civlay and type F for full, and that will load our layers in here. And then we're going to use the command ZX to isolate some things. You can see right here rest is highlighted. That means when we select a layer, we're going to turn off the rest of the stuff. If we hit S and enter, it will toggle to turning off the selected, but for now we want to turn off rest. So we'll grab the property line, grab that and put that on the V for existing property line layer. Type ZX and then just hit the space bar or enter again to get back to where we were. Select a couple of these items for the sewer. I'm not sure what that is. We'll identify that in a minute. Curb inlet, that looks like storm. And those also look like storm. So we're just going to grab those objects and make sure we're on by layer, line type, and color, and put these on V for survey, U for utility, sanitary sewer. This guy, we'll put it on the existing curb or on the existing concrete layer, VA site concrete. Benchmark, maybe we highlight this as well with the benchmark. 2, 3 benchmarks, and we'll put this on the VA site control benchmark layer. The storm data, looks like we have a little bit more there as well. And all of this should actually go on 2 separate layers. VG utility storm, and then we have another layer for the text. I'm going to do SSA to select all, and then that's going to go on the VG annotation storm layer. A valley curb, this looks like concrete. So I'm going to put all of that on the concrete layer again. VA site concrete. Existing spot elevations. That will all go on VG topo spot. And I'm not sure what these are yet. Oh,
trees. Okay. So we'll select those and put them on VG Landscape Miscellaneous. Here we have some meets and bounds. It looks like more than just meets and bounds on here. There's a label, another label. Alright, these will go on the meets layer, VS annotation meet. This line of sight triangle, that's an easement. So we'll put that on the easement layer. We only have one default easement layer, which is VA, which shows up on all sheets. But if you just want this to show up, like this really only applies to the site. So later we can change this to VS, and then it would only show up on the site layer. Water line. These are probably water valves. Let's see, there were some over here. Yeah, those look like water valves. VU utility water. And there's, actually let's put these pins on the meets layer as well. VS annotation meets. Property info. Property info. Some dimensions. Surveyor dimensions, and we don't need these to show up. We could put them under the VS annotation dimensions if we wanted them to show up on our sheets, but since it's survey annotation that we don't want, I'm going to put it under VZ, and Z does not show up on any of our layers. We can still turn the layer on and look at it if we want to, but we'll put this on here for now. Access rights dedicated, that's probably important. Boundary. That's a road. So those guys will just put on surveyor annotation that we do want to show up. So surveyor annotation note. This is right-of-way information or road information, so I'm going to put that on the road name layer. VA annotation road. The center line is like dimensions. Change this back to by layer, and we'll put this on VS annotation dimensions. Middle button YA to turn everything on, and it kind of looks like it's mostly on our layers. There's a couple things here and there. Some dimensions. I'm going to put that on that layer. And then I'm going to go over here to my layer list. Actually, I'm going to type in per gend to delete layers that we don't have. And then I'm going to turn off all of my layers, the civilogistix layers, turn those off so that we can see things that were left over that we didn't move over yet. So looks like we have a bunch of asphalt, edge of asphalt information. So we'll grab that. And some striping. So that might be all the asphalt. Let's go ahead and put this. Oh, we actually wiped out our other layers with purge in, so I'm going to type civ lay again, full. And then let's grab that edge of asphalt info. Put that on the asphalt layer. VA site asphalt. Center line of the road will go on a dimension layer along with those center line labels. Annotation dims. There's a hydrant there. CG, we'll use the CG command to put it on this layer. Oh, it's not working. Okay, so here's an interesting thing we can do. We can use the command blkize, and this takes all of the blocks and it puts the information that's on the inside of the block on the 0 layer and the color by block. And so we can choose this one to run that command on. And now when we put this on this layer, the color should change. This power pole, put it on power overhead. And then this is property line information. So we'll just put this on the VA property line. Transformer information. VU power underground. And so you can see this is not showing up correctly when we put it on our layer. It's on our layer, but it's still showing the other colors. And that's because they have something inside the block. So both of these are on the 0 layer, but this is on the color white instead of color by block. So we'll put this on color by block. We'll actually put both of them on color by block. Save, and now you can see that it's showing up. And now this one, we can run blkize, which is what we just did with this here. We did that manually, but we're going to do it again, but now we're going to do it on all blocks. Don't ever run this command in our drawing with our standard blocks because it'll ruin a lot of our blocks. We have custom colors in a few blocks, but it's okay to run on a survey convert. So we'll hit A for all. That should fix it for all of the blocks in there. And if we hit regen, oh, didn't work. Let's try it again. blkize, A for all. And then we'll regen this guy. And it didn't work. So let's click into this block and see what's different about it. Oh, it's an attribute. It's not a block. So if we go in here, we should be able to change the attribute. Text options, properties, color white, color by block. And ZX. Oh, we had all of those. Here's a couple things. I'm not sure. That says sanitary. I wonder if that's a sanitary clean out. So we'll put this CG to put it on that layer. I'm looking for other things that aren't CG to match that layer. Oh yeah, we had some striping down here. ZX. Put that on our VS site stripe. We had some top of slope detention area. So this is kind of grading annotation. Not sure what to put that on. We'll maybe like a grading. Let's look and see. VG for grading. It's annotation, but not necessarily for storm. Could be considered storm. Why don't we put it on that layer, and then we'll change the color so that it looks a little bit different than our other storm pipe annotation. And so we'll grab that, deselect that, and let's just put that on magenta. That goes on, oh, that was the road label. Okay, middle button YA to turn everything on, purge in to purge out all the layers that we're not using, and then I'm going to go to our civilogistix layers, highlight all of those, turn them off, and I still have a few things that I did not get. That was lots. So let's put that on the property line layer, but since it's not part of the primary property line, I'm going to put that on white so it shows up a little bit different, and then put it on the property line layer. Civ lay. VA property line. Look like data. SSA to select similar. Are there any others? A couple others. We'll put that on the VU data. Middle button YA. This looks like concrete information. For the sidewalk ADA, we'll put that on VA. Site concrete. This stuff we'll put on the same thing. VA site concrete. These dimensions. Are there any more? Nope. Sidewalk, put that on the same layer. Power, telecom. Let's try that BLKIZE again. And select this guy. Regen. Oh, probably because that's attribute again. Properties, color, by layer. There we go. And these were both power. SSA to select similar. We didn't pick up any others. We'll put them on underground power. Did we get that? Telecom, SSA. Put that, well, that's on the same data layer. CG. This says sanitary. That could be incorrect. I'm a little concerned about that. I'm going to put that. It's on right on the storm line. I'll make it yellow, but I'll put it on that storm line layer. Actually, no, it said it was sanitary, so I'm going to put it on the sanitary. But we'll make it yellow so that it stands out and we can figure out later on with some questions to the surveyor what it is. And these guys, that said sanitary as well. We'll do the same thing, CG. And there was a dimension that we didn't care to see. Put that on the annotation layer. And more trees, SSA, CG, SSA, CG, put that on the tree layer. More trees, CG, and that was something left over from the proposed development. We'll just delete that. Another piece of text. And I think we're getting pretty close to being done. Here's a little bit of text. Grass median. That really doesn't affect us, so I'll put it on the I'm just going to put it on the survey annotation layer. And then a sign. We can put that on either a miscellaneous or a sign layer. VA site miscellaneous. Middle button YA to turn everything on. Purge in to get rid of the layers we're not using. Select the civilogistix layers, turn them off. And we're getting really close. We have something right there. And then a few things here. Turn it back on again. Piece of text. Put that on that layer. This goes on that layer. Actually, we'll make that white. A couple labels, we'll put that on that layer. This and this go on that layer. P, I think that's power. Yeah, underground power. Put that on the power layer. And then we had something up there. Put that on the boundary layer. And middle button YA. Purge in. Go to our layers. Turn them off. And it looks like we got everything. And so we don't want to drag and drop this file into our drawing because there's still some layers left that were not purged out, and those will probably remain in the drawing because they're the surveyor styles. So when we bring this into our file, we'll want to just copy these objects that are here with Control Shift C base point 0, 0. Then go into our drawing and paste them at base point 0, 0. And that concludes a little short tutorial on converting a survey. Thanks. I'm going to start recording again to show you one more thing. We want to make sure that we put all of the text from a survey on the correct style. So I'm going to run civlay full to load our styles, our text styles. And then I'm going to grab everything here on my properties tab, which I usually keep on a different screen so you can't see it. I'll go to mtext, and the style, I want to make sure to put that on simplex because I want everything on simplex. And then there's a couple different types. Could be mtext or regular text. So I'll go to the regular text, put that on simplex as well. And then there's two types of text that we want to have on Calibri, and that would be the property line meets and the roads. So I'll select that, type SSA to grab that stuff. And then we again have two types of text. So I'm going to put this on Calibri. And then go over to the other type of text and put that one on Calibri. And now the reason we want existing text from a survey on simplex is because it doesn't stand out as much and it helps to show that it's existing. And then proposed information will be on this Calibri layer, which is more bold. But important things like the meets and bounds and the road labels, we want those to be on Calibri anyway. So that's why we do it that way. Thank you.